So much for attending our regular meeting January 20th. At this time, I would like to welcome everyone for being here, and I'd like to call this meeting to order. At this time, the invocation and pledge of allegiance with Commissioner Mike Barbie. Commissioner.
Okay. Everybody would please bow your heads. Our Heavenly Father, we come this afternoon to ask you to guide us in all decisions that we make for our county, and they be pleasing to you. We ask that you look over our county and bless us. Please bless our law enforcement, firefighters, our school and county employees, and our citizens. And please be with our county manager, Andy Lucas, and bless him and his family as they face his trying times of his father passing away. We thank thee, Father, for all your blessings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Commissioner Barbie. I appreciate that. At this time, everyone had the copy of the agenda. Are there any additions or corrections to the agenda? If not, I'd entertain a motion to accept. I got a motion by Commissioner King, a second by Commissioner Mills. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. We did not have anyone sign up for public comment. Are there anyone out there that'd like to say anything? Speak now, forever hold your peace is what the Reverend's saying. All right, we'll move right along. Agenda item, our first one is presenter Kyle Griffin. It's the 911 EOC facility radio system connectivity. Mr. Kyle, come on up, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Thank you for your time tonight. Earlier this month, during your January 5th meeting, I presented the radio system connectivity project for the new EOC and 911 facility. As requested, I have representatives from Mobile Communications of America here tonight representing Motorola. I do want to recap several highlights from the project from my original presentation. First, the project is needed to ensure that the new 911 center has connectivity to the public safety radio network. Without this connectivity, our telecommunicators will not be able to make radio contact with our law enforcement officers, paramedics, or firefighters. Staff initially identified funding using the General Assembly funds to support the initial project. However, as the project moved into a more detailed engineering phase, concerns were identified related to the terrain, vegetation growth, and tower loading. There has been extensive analysis of every potential network path to bring connectivity to the 911 center. And however, after much research and due diligence, the only viable option that we have found for microwave connectivity is the one that's before you tonight. We have funding sources identified, funds budgeted for the MPLS project, which we combined with this to benefit from cost savings in the current fiscal year, as well as funding from the General Assembly, which was what was allocated initially to pay for the project. The remainder before you tonight is $499,000 in the form of a 2-year lease financing option with payments in arrears. This option eliminates any fiscal impact during the current fiscal year. I'll be happy to answer any questions before asking Jody Johnson and Zach Fallon from Mobile Communications of America to come up and answer any of your questions.
All right, thank you, Kyle. Any questions for Kyle? All right, hearing none.
Good
evening, gentlemen.
Thank afternoon, late afternoon, early evening. How are y'all? I'm Jody Johnson, area sales manager for Mobile Communications. We're a Motorola manufacturer's representative. So essentially we are Motorola and we work together in completing this project. Zach Fallon is the sales representative that works with Kyle and the folks here in Stanley County and has been probably, I guess you would say, most heavily involved. This project actually started, I think, on the tail end of my tenure as the sales rep for this area. So I guess I'll open it up to questions and whatever we can do to help you.
All right, commissioners, any questions? I know you got several.
I have one,
Yes, sir.
and you have to help me with this.
Okay.
We're going to be leasing the microwave signal for 2 years at a cost of $270,000 per year. Is that right?
No, it's not, it'd be basically a lease purchase. Instead of a purchase up front, instead of having the funds up front, it's just spreading the cost out the 2 years.
So after 2 years, we're done.
County, yes.
It's ours.
That is,
And we won't have any payments after that.
not for the purchase of equipment. Any kind of maintenance or anything like that is ongoing.
Now, who does the maintenance? Do you do it or do we do it?
The City of Charlotte's radio shop, you contract with them.
Okay, so we still have to pay them. Do we have to have insurance on this?
Yes.
Any
The county
idea?
owns it. The county, I don't know the cost, but the county will own the equipment, and you contract with the City of Charlotte radio shop for maintenance.
We're being told that there's trees blocking the signal. We can buy a lot of trees or cut a lot of trees for $500,000. Why can't we cut the trees down?
That is, I think you've got to kind of gauge the terrain, specifically pick out the bundle or the bunch of trees. I'm not going to tell you you can't do that, but I think it's very cumbersome and complicated, and who owns the land, and I mean there's a lot of what ifs that could factor into that.
Did you guys do any kind of surveillance or inspection of the area before you made the original price? Or-
So this started in, I think the last email or the latest or earliest email I can find is started in 2023. At that time, Stanley County was looking at several different sites, and we did a quick paper analysis of that airport site to determine the feasibility. I believe in 2023, not knowing exactly where the building was at on the property, at that point, there was a path to one site, and then there was no path to the other site. As the process grew, and the more final position of the building and the tower site, the water tower, and factoring all of that stuff in over probably a 2-year period, this latest quote, which was at the end of 2024, is where we have reached the final engineering so that we make sure that we have a quality path. So a lot of things moved, a lot of things changed, and we've been working with Kyle and his staff and the consultants that the county has hired, and like I said, towards the end of 2024, we came up with this final design, and that's what's before you.
Well, I know that there's a Viper system out there that the Highway Patrol uses a lot of, and I think all the other 911 centers in the county or state, except for 4 or 5 counties, use the Viper system. And can you tell me why the Viper system is so much more economical than the Motorola system that you've designed?
So it is another Motorola system. So Stanley County, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, made a decision to partner with the City of Charlotte and created a regional system. So Stanley, Cabarrus, Union, Gastonia, and Mooresville were on that system originally. That's what your system is built for now currently. Viper is very similar in nature, but it has coverage statewide versus a regional. So I don't know the count off the top of my head, but your folks in Guilford are not on Viper. Charlotte, those counties that I named, Asheville has their own system. City of Salisbury has their own system. There's probably as many, pretty close to being half and half to who's on Viper and who's on another system.
So Viper has the capability
Yes, sir.
of picking up inside buildings now, or not?
I'm not sure the exact number of sites that are in Stanley County. I think you cohabitate with a lot of sites, but
We only have 2 Vipers.
okay, so you've only got 2 Viper sites inside of Stanley County, so that would definitely decrease your in-building coverage. As a matter of fact, it would probably decrease your out on the street coverage as well.
What could have been done differently to avoid an additional $500,000?
Well, I think it was just it was a growth of the project, and, you know, as we moved along and becoming more final in the design and where you're putting the building, and just, you know, a lot of things come into factor with that being an airport and the air traffic restriction. A lot of it becomes terrain factors. I think it's kind of in a low spot, and it's just difficult to get out with line of sight over the air microwave. And I think, you know, we were cognizant of it and did the best we could do as the project progressed to get a good system designed.
There's also some limitations on the existing towers, on the loading of those towers, on what is available for antenna location. You know, if you got a 300-foot tower, that sounds great that, hey, we can be at 300 feet, but if there's 6 other antennas on that tower and you only have 180 feet, then that's the only space that's available on that tower. And some of that is played into the engineering of it, as well as what's available height-wise on that tower.
I know, excuse me, Commissioner, I know you guys do a preliminary assessment of everything, but the terrain hadn't changed, the airport hadn't moved, and the trees hadn't grown any taller. Is that not
So I
done
think-
preliminary that you see? If it was a $50,000 difference, I can understand, but, you know, $500,000?
Yeah, I think the best of it, so the price difference is a second hop. So you're shooting and bouncing off and then going to the site, because we didn't have a clear shot from A to B. So at this point, we had to do A, B, and C to get to the same place. That's the added cost. And I think that factors in, you know, placement of the building, exactly where it's at on the airport property. Yeah, think of an angle of that line of sight. So once we got in and we're looking at space on those existing tower sites, you know, we were planning to point like this, but as you come down here, you increase the height over here, and you just didn't have the height at the airport to reach it.
If the building had been placed in a different way, would that have corrected the issue?
I don't know that that's a good solution. That's not an easy answer. I mean, we would have had to look at the placement of that
But you
building
keep
as
saying
well.
it's the placement of the building.
I think it's a combination of things. It's the placement of the building, more so the availability of space on the existing tower sites that we're pointing at.
So I guess moving the building would open up more questions on,
Yeah.
is it a higher elevation? Is it a lower elevation? Is it pointing this way with, what's the elevation in between those 2 points? So it's not a direct answer. I know that's not what you want to hear, but it is, there's other factors that go into it other than just the exact spot where it's placed.
Well, what's being proposed, will that take care of it, guaranteed? Are we gonna have more additional costs somewhere
You're
along the
not going to
way?
have any additional cost with connecting the 911 center back into the radio network via this microwave.
I'm curious, with other big jobs like this that you have, when you send those preliminary numbers, how often do you end up going back and having
Very.
a discrepancy of $500,000?
I think it happens quite often, honestly. It's because, again, when we first started, we didn't know where the building was going exactly. We had a couple potential sites, and as we worked through the project, and Kyle worked through it with his consultants, the spot on that property narrowed down, and we were able to get the more exact coordinates. And I think that's where we ended up in the 2024 quote, was a final location of the building, a final study of those additional sites to where we knew what space was available. And that has resulted in the new quote. That first pass was a lot of what ifs, and I think the goal there was to help the county determine if it was remotely feasible to get out of there at all. And it,
Long shot off, remotely feasible to
I'm-
$500,000.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I mean, it's kind of, we're way off on our numbers. It's just hard to absorb $500,000.
No, I would agree with you that, but I think I'll agree with you. I mean, I'll let it go at that.
Can I,
But again, as we progress through the design, things on tower sites beyond our control, beyond Kyle's control, beyond the county's control, things changed.
Like what?
The loading on the towers.
What, somebody add microwaves to it or something in the meantime that I don't know about?
The Viper Tower, we don't own or control that, so Highway Patrol could have added stuff, or, you know, the loading of that, definitely, you know, like we discussed earlier, the putting a microwave at 335 feet or higher on a 350-foot tower isn't feasible, or recommended. And also, as it relates to what they're saying, the Viper question and moving to that, you're still going to need connectivity to this building, even if you wanted to go to Viper, right? So it's more of a connectivity issue, a microwave issue, not a Viper versus UASI issue.
Is there an independent company out here that can give us a second opinion other than saying, take my word for it, trust us? I mean, at the end of the day, no disrespect to you guys, but I mean, y'all are salesmen. It's your job to come here and sell me a $500,000 job. I'm not hearing anything from an engineer saying this is the way it's got to be.
No, and I think as part of the project, Kyle will receive the paper study and then the physical path survey where somebody actually is on. We can furnish that, and you'll definitely have that for your records.
An independent company, totally unrelated from us and you, or would it be your company?
So technically, it would be our company.
Is there an independent company?
Sure, there is, sure. I think Kyle's consultants could probably
Mission
verify.
Critical Partners was also involved as part of the facility project, but they also reviewed this material for us and this data, and their path studies came back extremely similar, and I believe their opinion of that is also, this would be the best opinion.
Did you send us anything from those guys?
I have them, I can show them to you. I showed you they were some of the drawings I held up during the work session, but we can get them to you. And also, as it relates to Viper Tower, it went from a 93% loading to a 97% loading. We looked that up in the time frame of this study.
When we got those preliminary numbers, had we not determined the location of the building at that point?
So we started this when the location of the building was a question, right? It was a thought we needed to do this. Several sites were evaluated as very, very preliminary. When the site was chosen, hey, we're going here, we had to wait till the site plans were to a certain point where we could say, here's the building, identified the tower, and I cannot remember or recall at what part this was in, but I believe it started in 23, and by 24, when we started going down the path of, hey, this is where we want to put it. Is there any green pass? We had determined the location of the building.
would topo maps not have helped on this?
We reviewed topo maps, but I think it also came down to the loading difference changed, but also lots of other factors, as Jody mentioned.
I'm just kind of disappointed that it fell back like this. I'm still at the question, if we've got one leg that these trees are in the topo's elevation is affecting us, I'm still pushing, why can't we run a fiber cable between that two sections and cure the problem?
So I think the way that the regional system is set up, commonly the microwave is your primary path, and a lot of folks use fiber as your secondary, your backup path. The problem is you end up with critical infrastructure running underground, and Backhoe Bob gets it, and then your 911 center's down. So I think that is your limiting factor.
There's a lot of fiber cable running across this.
And I understand that, but I think that is the limiting factor of your fiber in the ground or in the air on the power lines.
What's our secondary route, man? I mean, if we get the microwave in, what would be our secondary route?
I'm not sure your secondary.
The secondary route, we have an existing point-to-point with the courthouse and can back all over that. However, we have had stark issues. We have a fiber line that runs from the courthouse to the Locust Tower. However, we have more issues out of that than we do the microwaves. And we've had countless issues where it starts having blips because it is running over commercial fiber that we do not control, where our microwave's been down for maintenance or an update of firmware, and then our consoles end up going out, and we resort to backup radios because the fiber line was at that distance and had issues. So I'm hesitant to say that fiber is a good means of primary connectivity. But that point-to-point that we would have to the courthouse for the county network, we can VLAN off a section for the radio system.
I hope you don't take offense to what I'm about to say. Your sales reps,
I understand, yes, sir.
we would, if there, and you would benefit from this. Is that correct? If we,
Personally, yeah, I mean, I
Right.
guess you would say, yeah.
you see where
I'm
I'm
not
coming.
gonna get paid for it, but yes,
Right.
I understand, yes.
We would, and if possible, we would like to, and I would, this is me speaking, I would like to speak to someone that would be an expert in this field that wouldn't benefit personally, and just maybe like someone else said, that we get a second opinion, and I'm not trying to, offend you.
I understand.
I just want to, $500,000 is a lot for us. I mean, some of these bigger counties, you might be able to just slide right through, and I'm not calling you a liar or anything like that. That's just me.
I understand exactly what you're asking. Kyle can certainly reach out to whomever, but I think you have that documentation with your independent consultant.
And I know you have us over a barrel.
I-
You want to get the 911.
So Mission Critical Partners also, like I said, had those past studies. We do have copies of those. There were some of the ones I showed you during the work session, and those are remarkably, I mean, if not the exact same. I mean, of course, you're going to have some deviations here and there, but they also yielded the same results and confirmed that this was the only viable option for microwave connectivity. And also, as it relates to the location of the building, I believe there was a lot of soil testing that had to be done in order to pinpoint that exact location, which was going on during the process of all of this and trying to get all of the pieces to fit together.
Any more questions? Thank you, gentlemen. I certainly appreciate it. Thank you, Kyle. All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, if it's possible that this won't cause a huge problem for the 911 center, I'm not good right now, and I'd like to, again, and with Andy not being here tonight, I would like to have just a little bit more information. And if we can get someone that's not going to benefit, and I know it's going to be next month before we have a meeting, and it might delay the 911 center, but I would definitely like to, and I'm not saying anything bad about you guys, I would like to be able to get another technical expert and let us make sure, because this is a lot of money.
Agreed. I can have Mission Critical come out to I believe it would be the 2-2 meeting.
Yep.
Have them be present if they don't mind to look over that. That was
Will that impede you or slow you down on anything on the,
what's the time frame on the lead time?
not going to matter? Did I hear that?
I believe it wouldn't delay the process of ordering things or having it delaying the building that much.
Okay. All right. I have a motion in a second, if I understand you right, to table it until the February 2nd meeting and get the Mission Critical out here to,
And we'll be happy to pull up maps or anything else with y'all. Go through those and show you those details, draw it out. You just absolutely. If you just get up with me, we can set up a time to go over those maps and pull them. Yeah, we can do that. We can do that. We can do
Andy,
that.
you okay with that, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So I have a motion and a second to table it till the February 2nd meeting. Any more discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank
Motion
y'all.
carries 7-0. Kyle, thank you. Thank you, guys. I certainly appreciate it. All right. Next item is Economic Development Incentive Grant. Our presenter is Elizabeth Cashmere, EDC Director. Hey, Elizabeth, how are you?
Doing well. How are you? Well, good evening, Chairman and members of the board. I couldn't hear back there, so I was just, can you hear me okay? Okay. Thank you for allowing me to come before you tonight on behalf of the Economic Development Commission to request your support for a property tax-based business development grant of 65% for 5 years for a property ownership group that is establishing operations in the city of Albemarle in Stanley County. The project will create approximately 28 additional new jobs in the healthcare sector with an average salary of $107,000 and $893,000, excuse me, and will result in real property improvements of at least $3 million over the next 5 years. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have about the project, and I appreciate your consideration of this grant request as well as public hearing.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Any questions for Elizabeth?
Tell me again, what type of business?
It's in the healthcare industry.
Okay. And how, you said the average salary was what?
The average salary for the project is $107,893,000
And that's how many people?
for 28 employees.
Are those 28 employees going to live in Stanley County?
As far as I'm aware, yes. There's really no way for us to track that.
Yeah.
What is the low-paying job for this?
The lowest paying job for this is, let me do some math. The lowest paying job that they would employ is $51,000, which is above our county average wage at $43,000.
And how many people will be at that salary?
3.
3.
Sure.
Any more questions?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion.
Oh, I gotta have public hearing
Oh,
first.
you do, I'm sorry.
That's all right. All right, hearing no questions, I will this time open a public hearing. Anyone that would like to speak either for or against the incentive? For or against? All right, at this time I will close the public hearing. Yes, sir, Vice Chairman.
I'd like to make a motion to approve an economic incentive equal to 65% of new taxes for a 5-year period based on a minimum investment of $3 million, which will result in 28 new jobs.
I have a motion. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Hatley. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you.
Next item is the SCUSA Fiscal 27 Public Hearing Notice Revision, and our presenter is Mr. Steve Dutton. Mr. Dutton.
How's everybody?
Good, how are you, sir?
Good, thank you. I have to bring this back before the commissioners. When I started our fiscal year 27 capital grant, which covers our vehicles and software in this particular year for scheduling and our maintenance. We are looking at putting on a scheduling software program. We went with a company that is on the state contract, and when meeting with those folks, and when we originally wrote the grant, they were in the process of getting approved, and they gave us a turnkey quote. And when I filled out my grant application, turnkey to me meant everything. Well, as it worked out, when it finalized it, after the grant application was submitted, it did not include the tablets that go with it, because some systems run on Windows-based, others are on Mac-based, and so I had to revise that number and separate those tablets, which when I did the application, our combined capital application was for $190,570. By adding the tablets into it, to be able to adequately operate the software, it raised it to $214,120. the impact to us and to our taxpayer base is about $2,100, but when you do the grant, you can always spend less than what's approved, but if you request more than what you applied for, it's required to bring it before public notice again, which we've done, and then to bring it to the board and commissioners' approval. So I'm asking for your consideration on that matter.
Okay. Any questions for Mr. Dutton? All right, what's the pleasure of the board?
Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the request for an increase in capital request for fiscal year 27 grant to include the vehicle tablets for the driver kids and software needs.
Thank you, Commissioner King. Do I have a second? Second by Commissioner Crump. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Mr. Dutton.
Thank you.
Next item is Consolidation Health and Human Services Board appointment, and our presenter is Ms. Dolly Clayton, Health and Human Services Director. Hey,
Good
Dolly, how are
evening.
you?
I'm good. Hope you are. So I,
Ms. Clayton. Chairman Eford, I believe that we should have had a public hearing on the SCUSA matter.
Okay, it didn't say anything on my sheet. That's the reason I didn't have one.
Right, I don't think it appears in the recommended action.
Okay.
I think if we can have one, better to have one and not need it than.
Sure,
vice
yeah,
versa.
no.
I'm not totally sure.
Okay, no, that's fine. All right, again, let's go back. My apologies, I didn't see it on my recommended action. We need to open a public hearing on the SCUSA's fiscal year 27 budget revision. At this time, I will declare the public hearing open. Anyone here to speak for or against that revision? Hearing none, I will close the public hearing. So we need to do Commissioner King and go back through that again, or do that? Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. Commissioner King, are you good with that, sir? Absolutely. Commissioner Crump, are you good with second? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. My apologies.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You're welcome. Miss Dolly, now, I'm sorry.
all right, that's fine. So our Consolidated Human Services Board basically is our Public Health Board as well as our Social Services Board that were combined together to form this consolidated board. The commissioners made that consolidation happen in the end of 2017 for 2018. And so there are currently 21 positions on our board. The establishment of those positions, there are 21 positions on our board. The establishment of those positions are part of North Carolina General Statute 153A-77, which designates specific positions on the board. The Public Health Board has always had specific positions on their board, professional individuals with different disciplines. And so when they created this consolidated board, it basically combined it all together. So in your packet, you have information about our consolidated board. We had some vacancies, and so one of the things that that is a result of that is that we wanted to move some positions. The board, the Consolidated Human Service Board, made a recommendation to move individuals who fit certain designated position requirements or disciplines into those designated positions. So for instance, Dr. Jenny Henson's term expired in November 2025, and she did not seek reappointment. At the same time, Dr. Neil Spate has been serving on our board in a general member seat. And so they made a recommendation for him to be moved into that seat, that physician appointed seat. And then with that move to him into that vacant physician member seat, they recommended Jennifer Lynn to be appointed to fill the general member seat that Dr. Spate had then vacated. The pharmacist seat is vacant. Mr. Rick Kane vacated that position. We received 2 applications, Mr. Sean Pickler and Sharon Eford. Both have the qualifications to fill this particular professional seat. After discussion and majority vote, the recommendation was made for Sharon Eford to fill that pharmacist seat with a 4-year term. Then Dr. James Link has served a partial term of 2 years after Dr. Amy Jordan resigned her position as the veterinarian member of the board. He's willing to continue serving a 4-year term. Received his application by unanimous vote. The board wants to recommend him for reappointment to serve a 4-year term. Also, Dr. Sina Kustani serves as a Consumer of Human Services member of the board. His partial term expires in March of 26, and after discussion, the board voted that he be reappointed for a 4-year term expiring March 3rd and 2030. And so the request then is for Dr. Neil Spate, a current general member, to be moved to the physician seat for a 4-year term. And that would be effective February the 5th. That's our next board meeting. And then request that Jennifer Lynn fill his seat for the remaining 4-year term, effective February the 5th through 2027. Then request that Ms. Eford be appointed to the board in a pharmacist position. And then request that Dr. James Link serve a 4-year term to the veterinary position, and then request the reappointment of Sina Kustani to serve in the Human Services, Consumer of Human Services position. And those are all our current applications that we currently have. We also have a psychiatrist position vacant, a psychologist position vacant, and a dentist position vacant. So if you know someone who lives in Stanley County who might serve in those positions, please encourage them to apply. Our health department staff did a Facebook post on January 12th, just putting the notice out that we had those vacant positions.
Okay. Thank you, Dolly. Any questions for Dolly?
That was a mouthful.
It was a lot, yes.
Understand that we have a measles case in Stanley County recently. You know?
Technically, Stanley County is not the holder of that case because the individual lives in another county.
Okay.
All right. So do we need to do this separately, or can we do it all under one motion? Because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reappointments.
Mr. Chairman, I think one motion would be fine.
Okay.
I would note for the board, the first bullet point under recommended action, the effective date for Dr. Spate's new term would be February 5th, 2026, instead of November 7th, 2025, as noted.
What was that again, Jenny? I'm sorry.
In
February the what?
In the first bullet.
I got that. I didn't know
under
the
recommended
dates.
action, instead of November 7th, 2025 for the effective date, it should be February 5th, 2026.
Okay, got it.
But other than that, I believe you can do one motion to appoint all 5 of these individuals as specified in the recommended action section.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
What's the pleasure?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we appoint all the people that Dolly has presented to us. And I believe your board has requested these people.
Correct. It's a recommendation by the Consolidated Human Services Board.
I'll second that.
All right, I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? That motion is for Dr. Neil Spates, Jennifer Lynn, Sharon Eford, Dr. James Link, and Sina Kustani. Is that correct, sir? And I had a second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries 7-0. Thank you, Dolly.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate all your hard work.
Thank you.
Next item is a resolution, internal controls policy for ARPA, CSLF, RF funds. And Andy, are you going, okay, Jenny, you going to present this? Okay. And our presenter is Ms. Jenny Fur.
Good evening, Chairman, Commissioners. I will be presenting the next 2 agenda items on Andy's behalf tonight. First, I will be presenting the internal control policy for the ARP CSLR funds. And the purpose of this item is to consider approval of an internal control policy for our ARPA and coronavirus state and local fiscal recovery funds. Since the county has received state and federal grant monies, which have been funded by ARP or CSLF-RF dollars, we must comply with the uniform guidance. And so the county is required to adopt this policy to ensure we comply with the U.S. Treasury requirements. And this new policy establishes guidelines consistent with the uniform guidance and ensures accountability, transparency, and our compliance. So we would just ask that you approve the policy as presented, and Andy and I are happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions for Ms. Furr or County Manager Lucas, who's on the phone?
One of the questions here, it says that we must support public health expenditures by funding COVID-19 mitigation efforts, which would be, do you know what these would include? Is this going to be any kind of advertisements or anything like that? Or advertisements for vaccine clinics? Will there be vaccine clinics extended to schools or things like that that have been done in the past?
What page are you looking at, Commissioner Crump?
48 of 85.
48, okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at the resolution, so if that's what we have to say, I mean, if that's what we're going along with.
This is pro forma from the school government, and all these funds are, we've had to spend all these funds or encumber all these funds by December 30th of 2024, and so now we're just having to make sure we've spent them all by December 31st of 2026. We haven't designated any of our American Rescue Plan funds for anything related to COVID. Now, we got other funding streams from that went straight to the health department from the Department of Health and Human Services, but these funds that we're a subrecipient from for DEQ for their funding, and our funds that we got straight from the American Rescue Plan for the county, we did not spend any of those on any public health measures, and we're not, we're at this point, we're not doing anything related to COVID-19. I mean, we're not doing anything specific to any marketing of any vaccines or anything of that nature. So a lot of this is just pro forma language that the school government has put together in compliance with U.S. Treasury guidance.
And our past expenditures, if this is helpful to the board, include several water and sewer design and construction projects, the design of the West Stanley wastewater treatment plant expansion, and replacing jail HVAC equipment. I think the only outstanding project we have, and Andy, you may correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe we plan to spend the balance of the money on the West Stanley wastewater treatment plant expansion.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you for clarifying that.
On page 55, it has the prohibited uses like bulk deposits into pension funds, debt services, financial reserves, judgments, programs that undermine the spread of COVID-19. So on page 55, they do have some of the places you can't spend the money.
That's correct, and that hasn't changed since the funds were released to us several years ago.
Any more questions? Jenny, I seen one on that first paragraph of the resolution. It says the town of Furquay Arena.
Yes, I noted that today, and Tyler and I switched that out to Stanley County and
All
made
right,
sure
that's fine. I
the
just- I
town
noticed
didn't
that.
appear anywhere else throughout the document.
Okay.
Yes, sir, we have
All
the correct version for your signature.
Okay, all right, great. Anything else from Ms. Furr or Andy? All right, what's the pleasure of the board? I have a motion to adopt by Commissioner King. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second, Commissioner Mills. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Motion carries 6-1. Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Next item is the Stanley County America 250 Committee funding request. Ms. Furr?
Thank you, Chairman Eford. The Stanley County America 250 Committee, who presented to you, I believe, at our last meeting, is seeking a one-time $10,000 grant from the county for this fiscal year. Per their request, the $10,000 would specifically be used to cover essential outreach and engagement costs, including event signage, printed educational materials, advertising, social media promotion, and the production of small commemorative objects to be distributed at all America 250 Stanley County events. We will just ask the board to consider their request. Andy and I both are available to answer any questions you may have. And I believe the America 250 Committee may be present as well if you have any questions for them.
All right, thank you. Any questions?
Yes, could you just clarify once again what this $10,000 grant will be used for? Just for transparency,
Mr. Jones want to answer that?
for anyone who was not watching last week.
One of the principal things that we're going to be doing is a drone show, and this is going to be used, a great part of that in terms of publicizing it. We want to also publicize all of the events that are going to be covering across the county, as you've heard in the prior meeting, that are going to be in Norwood, that are going to be in Albemarle, that are going to be in a variety of places. Also, we want to engage young people. We're going to be doing information historical fact sheets with coloring aspects to it and other things that we want to engage our young citizens of Stanley County involved in. We also want to hand out, specifically at the drone show, a magnet that is going to basically commemorate the 250th celebration for Stanley County at that time. As has been already noted, it has to do with totally engaging the public in regards to the program that we have established.
And this committee was formed because these committees are formed across every county across the entire United States, and this is a federal administration's
This is a federal
task.
program and also a state. It is, we are directly involved with the state agency that is part of Cultural Resources in Raleigh. But all of it is in connection with the national celebration of the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence.
Great. I would just like to say thank you very much for what the committee has been doing. I am part of that committee, but I have only been able to read emails and see what you've been doing because you meet during the day and I work. But I do see all of the work that has been going into this, and I support this 100%, and I appreciate all of the hard work that you've done that so far. I can't wait to be part of it and see what is going to be at all the different locations. I plan to attend, and I hope that everyone here will, that we'll have a good attendance. So I
Well,
will
one of
be
the first, I hope that you will come. We're having an excellent presentation relating to George Washington and the courage that it took for him to be able to unite all the colonies in the revolutionary effort, also particularly relating to the experience of Valley Forge. That's going to take place on February 29th at Central Methodist Church at 7 o'clock. I hope you will come.
Okay.
Thank you, sir. All right, any more questions?
Mr. Bain, do you, I was just looking at the list, I see it up here on the sheet, engagement cost, signage, printed educational materials, advertising, social media, and a small commemorative, what's the object, what did you say the object was?
It's a magnet.
It's a magnet. Do y'all keep like an itemized statement of what money goes where?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We have to comply with the requirements of the state.
Right.
And yes, we have, everything is approved by the Cultural Resources. All of our expenses, all the programs, everything is supervised through the state.
Thank you.
Any more questions?
I have, the other municipalities and organizations in the county putting money towards this as well, are they making $10,000 donations?
No, but the state has, and this is a county-wide effort.
No other cities or towns?
No, we have received $1,000 from Norwood in regards to the mural that exists there, and the city of Albemarle has been very generous to give us Mr. Fass and his expertise and the use of his office, as well as materials and other things in that regard. So there's been a tremendous in-kind gift by the city of Albemarle. This is, I emphasize again, this is a county-wide program, which is the county seat.
All right. Any more questions? What's the pleasure of the board?
Chairman, I make a motion that we grant a $10,000 grant for the America 250 Committee, and I look forward to attending those events.
We look forward to seeing you, sir.
Second that.
All right, have a motion, Vice Chairman Lawhon, and a second by Commissioner Crump. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
I hear one no or two? Two. All right, motion carries 5-2. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Furr. Next item is consent agenda. What's the pleasure of the board?
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
I have a motion, I have a second. Second, Commissioner Hatley, any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Next item is board comments, announcements, and committee reports. I'll start with Commissioner Barbie.
I'm glad everybody could come out. We had a little bit of ups and downs with communication and emergency systems, but it all worked out, I think. And my condolences to County Manager Andy Lucas and his family.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Barbie. Commissioner Mills.
If most of you might not know, our county manager lost his dad today to a stroke, and we really depend on him. I just want to say this about Andy. If you would see the things that he does for this county, and he's brilliant in my book. And Andy, if you're listening, I know what it's like to lose your dad, and I know that he was I know the man you are, and I know the man that raised you, and he was an extraordinary man.
Thank you, Billy.
Thank you, Commissioner. Commissioner Crump?
I second all of what Billy just said about our county manager, Andy Lucas. And Andy, my deepest condolences to your family. You have my prayers.
Thank you.
Commissioner King? Commissioner Hatley? Vice Chairman Lawhon?
I too echo, Andy, what you're going through and your family's going through, and my prayers are that your family and your mother will have much better days ahead, but you got to remember your dad is healed and not suffering, and we depend on you. You are a great county manager, and we're lucky to have you, and you take as much time as you need with your family. That's all.
Thank you, Vice Chairman.
Thank you for all the kind words, Commissioners. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Andy, again, we've all said it, and our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family. We depend heavily on you, and I know your mom depends on you also. So, again, give her our best, and if you need anything from us in the future, please don't hesitate. One other thing I have on a little lighter note, there's a special birthday tomorrow. Woohoo! My lovely wife, Tracy, we were married at 18, And, you know, when you look, when you look, when you look back, when you married at 18, and I don't know if I'd recommend that to any kid today, but, different times back then, 65, you don't mind me saying that you're gonna be 65 tomorrow, do you? 65 is a lifetime away. But I can't think of anybody else I'd spend my lifetime with. So love you. Happy birthday. If anybody has anything else, hearing none, our next meeting is February the 2nd. And with that being said, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. Commissioner Crump. Second, Commissioner King. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carries 7-0. Thank you. See you, Andy.
Thank you all. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir. I'm gonna hang up on you now.
All right.
Get some.